Go.
Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Torah with the Beth Israel Rabbi. This coming Shabbat, we read Parshat Vayetze. In Parshat Vayetze, Yaakov, or Jacob, is fleeing from his brother, who wants to kill him because of some, let's say, not so nice incidents that happened in last week's Torah portion. While on the run, Yaakov finally becomes tired, and he puts his head down on a pillow that is comprised of a pile of rocks. He falls asleep and has a famous dream in which he sees angels ascending and descending a ladder. And God speaks to him. And God says to him, I will always be with you, and I will return you to this land. It's actually a little confusing what God means by this land. Well, the rabbis understand this particular incident as having taken place in the Holy of Holies, in the Beit HaMikdash in Jerusalem, but it still isn't 100% clear. The Malbim says it very clearly. He says that the land is Eretz Yisrael, is the land of Israel. And the Kitzur Ba'atorim explain that he will be returned from the 4 points of the world. Now, the 4 corners of the world. What does this mean, the 4 corners of the world, and to what is this referring? This, of course, is referring to the diaspora. This is referring to the multiple times throughout Jewish history in which the Jewish people have been exiled from the land of Israel, found themselves and found ourselves wandering and going about and living in various parts of the world, and finally having opportunity to return home. The 2 commentaries on this one line of this week's Parsha captures virtually all of Jewish history, connected to one land, and one land only, that being the land of Israel, the place from which all of us as a Jewish people come, the place to which all of us connect as a Jewish people, whether if we live in the land of Israel or we live outside of the land of Israel, we turn towards the land of Israel, a reference point in history and even our reference point today. In just a couple weeks, we celebrate the holiday of Hanukkah. Hanukkah, of course, is a story about recovering and reviving Jewish political and religious opportunity and freedom in the land of Israel. But throughout history, we have read that story, either from a domestic, meaning internal Jewish in the land of Israel perspective, or external as well, as seeing ourselves outside of the land of Israel and reflecting back in. We at Congregation Beth Israel have a 3-part series beginning this coming Wednesday about Hanukkah and its relationship to the land of Israel, to political and religious freedom, to ancient, modern, and current history and politics. Please join us at a special time for Primetime BI at 12 o'clock this Wednesday as we learn with Doron Lopez, who teaches at both Hebrew University and Machon Shechter and other institutions around Jerusalem, as we zoom in to learn with him. And then join us for 2 other special series Hanukkah programs on Zoom. And finally, join us on December 4th for a Hanukkah, like I like to say, homecoming, Hanukkah homecoming or Hanukkah homecoming on December 4th, as we celebrate Hanukkah with you, with Cantor Michael Zusman and Monica Schwartzman. And this will be a celebration for people of all ages. Shabbat Shalom.